Big round of applause, some noise for Kid and Play and DJ Wizard and Me. Kid and Play rose to the highest levels of superstardom many years before it was commonplace for rap artists to secure endorsement opportunities or anything more than sell records and do shows. But their beginnings started in the recording industry as Fresh Force on Sutra Records. We just got two more inductees, just so we get a little bit of respect and silence for the inductees. Their time in the recording industry started as the Fresh Force on Sutra Records, the same label that launched the Disco 3, who later became the Fat Boys. It was the summer of 1986 when I first heard She's a Skeezer on a Kiss tape by my man, again, Cool DJ Red Alert. She's a Skeezer was their comedic take on Run DMC's My Adidas, and it stuck with me as these kind of records always did. When I heard their second single later in the same year, Rock Me, which was their take on Rock Me Amadeus by Falco, I had no idea I was hearing what would eventually become one of the biggest names in this era of hip hop. Within a year, the Fresh Force became Kid and Play and released their debut single under that name, Last Night. In addition to being masterfully produced and arranged by Herbie Lovebug with all the right samples, Last Night combined the dangerous realities of 1987 Brooklyn, New York, and Union Square with their comedic brand of storytelling. Kid and Play immediately became a group to watch, and they didn't disappoint with their second single and their first video, Do This My Way. In addition to another extremely well-produced single by Herbie and his brother Stevie O, whose name was becoming red hot, we saw the elements of what would make this duo superstars. The high top fades, the dance moves, and again, that comedic potential. In 1988, Kid and Play with their DJ Wizard and Me released their debut album, full-length album, Too Hype. Getting Funky with its infectious horns for the hook. Rolling with Kid and Play with the go-go drums, and Too Hype. Their videos were instrumental in growing the group's fan base and further expanding their image. But by 1990, they released their second album, Funhouse, and starred in their first movie, the incredibly successful House Party, which had two sequels. Two of hip-hop's truly mainstream superstars, three of hip-hop's truly mainstream superstars. Kid and Play would also star in their own NBC Saturday morning cartoon in 1990, released their third album, Face the Nation, in 91, appear in their own Marvel comic in 92, as well as star in Class Act in that same year. They've appeared in many facets of popular culture over the last 4 decades, and most recently, they even launched their own podcast and done some other things in social media and on the internet. Now to induct Kid and Play into the National Hip Hop Museum Hall of Fame is DJ Quicksilver.
This is crazy right here. When I say this is a crazy moment, last year I got the honor and privilege of inducting the team from Beat Street, and I always talk about how Beat Street was the movie I watched that made me want to be a DJ. But in 1990, I got my first set of turntables, and I was watching a movie called House Party. And as we know, in 1990, gangster rap was popular. Everything in the neighborhood was tough and gangster. But then I'm watching House Party and I watched Kid and Play, and they brought that fun element to hip hop, where you actually can dance and rap and still be cool. Things like TikTok wouldn't exist if it wasn't for people like Kid and Play showing that you can actually still dance, rap, and still be cool. And it's so crazy. Real quick story. I play this game called Guess That Movie all the time on the radio, right? And anybody who knows me, my go-to movie is House Party. I can quote House Party from the beginning to end. So whenever I play Guess That Movie, my friends and family like, I already know what they're gonna say. Take a look in that car. Take a look in that car. They're all going to the party and they keep asking, who's the DJ? So I brought him over here so you can get the jump on him before the other brothers. Then DJ Bilal looks at him and say, is that supposed to convince me? Then Play looks at him and says, then he says, ladies, the B-Love's in the house. Ew, dragon breath. From start to beginning, House Party is the movie that shaped my life. Because of that movie, at the age of 10, when I got my first set of turntables, I started collecting Jet Beauty of the Week and putting it on my wall because Bilal had it there. At the age of 10, I started growing my first hot top fade, and I actually got a picture I'm gonna show you, Play, because I actually wanted to be Kid and Play, so you know I'm not lying when I say this. I had the high top, I dressed like them. My whole style, my whole aura of just having fun and being a fun DJ and bringing positive vibes and having that vibe came because I was a fan of Kid and Play. So to be on this stage and having the honor and the privilege of inducting from House Party to Kid and Play to being in DC where Go-Go started and hearing some of their biggest songs that were inspired by Go-Go. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're sitting down, if you don't mind, you need to stand up right now and start clapping right now. Start clapping right now. Start clapping right now for the legendary Kid and Play into the National Hip Hop Museum honoree 2025.
We're not profiling, we're freestyling. Got you dancing in the island, you be smiling.
From ear to ear, let's make this clear, dear.
Riding the reins on the rap frontier. Here is where we stand by popular demand.
Let's have a hand for the four-man band.
All the MCs in the dust trailing.
We got Quick on the horn just wailing around.
So if you're feeling down, we're gonna cure that.
Or with the hyped up sound, making sure that
A trooper's gonna say at the end of the night, I bet the boys were right.
and they rock the mic.
Getting funky, 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 funky.
RBI, my brother, great job. In case y'all don't know, I'm DJ Wiz, DJ for Kid and Play. I just want to compliment everybody in the building. Thank you for coming. But I want to just talk about the trickle-down effect of hip-hop. It was so many people before us. Herbie spoke about it earlier. Kwame, everybody on the panel spoke about it. Somebody influenced us to do what we do. Red Alert was an influence for me. DJ Grandmaster Flash was an influence for me. Grand Wizard Theodore, where I stole my name from, is how I got my name, the Grand Wizard ME. So, and we talking about 79, you know what I'm saying? I've been doing this that long. But if it wasn't for my sisters who played all of the funky albums and all of the funky music, I might not like the beats and wanted to be a DJ eventually. You know what I'm saying? Between that and the park jams, more influence. Ron Lawrence, his brother was the biggest DJ in our neighborhood. As a matter of fact, he might have been one of the biggest DJs in the city. Donnie Dance Master. He influenced a whole nother school of DJs. Park jams. Play will tell you, the 127 Bootyland was infamous. So the trickle-down effect is you never know who you're influencing. So just do what you do, and one day, you never know where you're gonna end up. Who knew we would be doing movies and TV shows and all of that? Have a Marvel comic and a NBC Saturday morning cartoon. Never in my wildest dreams. But I'm so grateful for this moment with all my peers, all the people that influenced me. Grandmaster Kaz, I told Kaz, he is such a big influence on this culture, period. The Cold Crush Brothers. You have no idea what he did for us. You know, Herbie said it. Play said it. It's the trickle-down effect. So just keep doing what you do excellent so we can all trickle down that talent and that influence. You know what I'm saying? Quicksilver said it. You know what I'm saying? House Party influenced him. Just keep being excellent doing what you do, man. I'm grateful for this. Playtime.
I want to thank you all for being here. And before I go any further, I want to apologize and represent that Kid couldn't be here this evening. He had to deal with something that was unavoidable. If he could have been here, he definitely would have been. So I ask that you all your prayer warriors out there, put him and his family in your prayers and ask Lord for his protection and guidance and everything for things to be good. With that being said, it's amazing to be here. And when I was trying to think about what I was going to say and praying to the Lord for what to say, it brought to mind how important each and every one of you are to God and my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. As I testify in the schools and in the churches and my speaking engagements, as I travel around the country, I tell people that God used hip hop to save my life. Let me share one particular story and this proof of that. Back in New York, do you remember a mayor by the name of Mayor Koch? At the time, I was very influenced by the streets. My heroes and who I looked up to was your Bimmies, your Alpos, your Fat Cats, your Pappy Masons, Nicky Bonds, the list goes on. And my father was a part of that element. As I said earlier, he was what I called an urban pharmaceutical engineer. He took that engineering to a whole nother level where things got so tight for him that he actually robbed a bank. And he ended up on the front page of the Post in New York at the time, earlier in what I'm about to get into. And for me, seeing the Black exploitation films and some of the names that I just mentioned and see what the cars that my father drove, the way he dressed, it looked like success. And I bought into the fact that that's what was for me, my destiny. So I was out there in them streets heavy. I got kicked out of 5 high schools. I became a stick-up kid. I was out there. I was destined to be a New York statistic. But what ended up happening one day, I used to stick people up with a sawed-off shotgun. And what I did one day, because the shotgun, I used to have a sheepskin, 3/4 sheepskin coat. I was doing it. And I had a custom-made holster made for it that fit real nice. Herbie and them could attest for this before we got together doing our thing. But I used to have this shotgun under the sheepskin coat. But then summertime came, and you looked a little ridiculous wearing a sheepskin coat, trying to hide a shotgun. So I decided it was time to do a negotiation where I traded that shotgun in for 3 snub-nosed .38 revolvers, 2 high-pellet illegal pellet guns, and nothing but a whole bunch of rounds of shells of, bullets and stuff in boxes and filled in the chambers of the guns. So the reason why I brought up Mayor Koch, he had just passed a law at that time that anybody that got caught with a gun was automatically going to do a certain amount of time for the gun. But for every bullet that you had in the chamber, you were going to get a year for every bullet. So here I am with these guns and bullets in every one of them, and also nonstop bullets in whatever I carried them in. And I had them in a school bag. I kicked out of 5 high schools. I'm not going to school, but I had them in a backpack. One day, and I made this trade, got that, and some money that went along with it, a pocket full of money. Me, being a brilliant criminal, decided to hop the train stile. I could have paid for the tokens. And the minute I hopped the train stile, all of a sudden I heard was, "Hold it right there." So it was a cop. And he pulled me to the side, and he thought I was cutting out of school. So he gave me this long Martin Luther King speech about who I am and why am I not in school. And he made this threat that, you know what I need to do? I need to go ahead and put you up against the wall, turn you around, go in your backpack, because he thought I had books in my backpack. And he goes, throw you up against the thing, whatever. But you know what? And he looked me dead in my eye, white cop, by the way, looked me dead in my eye and said, you know what? It's something about you, so I'm going to let you go. But just let me see some ID, and I'm going to get you out of here. That's right, you guessed it. I had no ID. He gives me the speech again, the I am somebody speech. And he says, you know what? I need to throw you up against that wall, go in your backpack, call your parents so they can come get you. And he looks at me again and he says, you know what? There's something about you, and I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Get out of here and don't let me see you again. There was other incidents that took place that involved the risk of life and death, not my own, someone else's. There's a very real chance that who you're looking at here would have been a different play. Not me, Christopher Lee Martin, would have been somebody that would have either been in prison or an early death. But I was given a shot. As in my neighborhood during this time, I'm noticing this real odd-looking person, light skin, big afro, glasses as thick as bottled Coke glasses. But he always had on the latest Adidas. Back then we used to iron our jeans, so the crease was really important. So his jeans was crisp, but he used to work at the local supermarket, the A&P supermarket in the meat department. So he had the chemistry coat, whatever, the white jacket, and he would sport it throughout the neighborhood. He had just moved in from the Bronx. His mother had passed. He came to live with his father. But he always stood out to me for no particular reason. There was nothing about him. It's just what he wore. It just was like, okay, all right. And one day, me and my good friend, there's another member of Kid and Play that didn't make it to the height that most of you know. His name is Jerome Doss, that we used to call Romeo. We went to a neighborhood party in the neighborhood and the Dory Miller Projects, and there was a party given in the basement. And in there, you know, we're hearing the music, it's jamming, the party is going on, but now it's time at every party, like a house party, it's time for rappers to get on the microphone. So I'm hearing this voice that just stood out. It was a special voice, and the rhymes was tight, they were sharp. So smoothly, I made my way to where the DJ was in the microphone, and lo and behold, here's this strange looking guy that I would notice in the neighborhood, Christopher Patrick Reed, known to y'all as Kid from Kid and Play. So edit, he and I became friends through this mutual friend, Romeo. And we had two different crews, the Turnout Brothers, which was Wiz, Ron Lawrence, and Kid Cool Out, Clevio, Marky Brown, the list goes on. I was part of a different crew. Like you see in the story of the Temptations and other bands and singers, as time goes by and you're not making it, it's time for you to drop out. You're not going to do it anymore. And the same thing happened with our groups. Kid and I are the only ones left standing. As we're doing what we're doing in our musical career as Fresh Force, Kid and Play, I didn't have an education. I dropped out of 5 high schools. So what Kid ended up being a blessing to me was he went to school. He went to Herbert H. Lehman College. Before that, it was the Bronx High School of Science. He was a real nerd, but real smart nerd. And as life became, and that's why we did the movie Class Act, because it was a lot like our real life. So when I got to the point where life was getting serious and it was time to think serious about life, I asked him one day, I said, yo, notice you say a lot of cool words, smart words, and I'm thinking I could use these words to get over with the women, any class of women I want to get with and still be a thug. So I said, you know what? I want to be smarter. So from now on, when you say something and it's a word I don't know, I'm going to interrupt you and ask you what that word means. And if I say a word that doesn't make sense or I'm not saying it right, you know, you can correct me. I'm kind of rough back then. So he's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, you know, you could do that. He's like, are you sure? Is it okay? I said, yeah, man. Yeah, just do it. He asks again, are you sure? Now I'm getting angry. Yeah, man, sure, you could do it. He said, well, there is one word that bugs me about you when you say it. I'm like, all right, what is it? He says, it's breakfast, not breakfast. Kid ended up being my unorthodox teacher, being a man, a friend. And for him, if he was here, he would say how he got his style and the clothes and the charisma and street savvy and street knowledge. But the secret to our success along with DJ Wiz has been friendship and how it's resonated in our music videos, in our records, in our movies. We love y'all and we thank you so much. Like, for me to be able to call Grandmaster Cass a friend, DJ Red Alert a friend, the record that changed my life, that I might be good in this thing rapping, But I never forget this record. Greatest record to me of all times. I don't care what comes after it. Was Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five Super Rapping. Never forget that record. With Melly Mel, he didn't say it in this particular record, but when he drop a rhyme like I'm so bad, I'm so nice, write a rhyme on the ground and make the world turn twice, I'm like, yo, who is this man? But along with so many, the Cold Crush, the Fantastic Romantic Five, the Treacherous Three, come on, a name like the Treacherous Three, and they lived up to it. LA Sunshine, Kool Moe D, Special K, forget about it. But to be here in this room with y'all and others alike that I can be able to call and say that they're peers, I praise God so much for the opportunity that he used hip hop to save my life and to be here at a podium like this. And even though it might not be something that feels comfortable or something that doesn't fit with the theme, but the name, my manager, my accountant, my lawyer, my everything is my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. So to be able to come here and have a house party with you, I want to thank Jeremy. I want to thank Master G and all of the staff here. By the way, they shared with me, and nothing against Jeremy and the family, they don't get paid. Jeremy and the people here, they take care of them what it takes to be here, to fly, their hotel accommodations. But they shared with me, they do this. I don't even think they want the money. They come here to do this for the love of the culture. They do it for free. So please don't give them a hard time if they don't get it right or to your liking. They're doing this for all of us, for the culture. Jungle Brothers, Dana Dane, Kwame, Antoinette, Sweet Tea, if I forget your name, Holly, oh, DJ Hollywood, are you kidding me? Charge it to my head and not my heart. Every name, Dana Dane, everybody here in the building. Cool DJ Red Alert, all of you. It is an honor to be here. I'm not taking this for granted. We're not taking it here for granted. And I thank you for the love and the support you have given us over the years. I thank you so much, and God bless you all greatly in Jesus Christ's name.
Perched up producer, Wiz is the DJ. Roll with Kid and play. Now everybody sing.